Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Marcia Butler. I am the webinar director here at Advice Chaser. Before I introduce our guest and get started, I need to do a bit of legal housekeeping. Advice Chaser, the host of this webinar, is not a registered investment advisor. We cannot and do not give financial advice. Today's presentation is for educational purposes only and cannot be considered advice for any person's individual situation. Advice Chaser regularly hosts informative webinars, such as this one, featuring a variety of knowledgeable professionals, many of whom are licensed advisors. Any opinions, ideas, jokes, or principles expressed by presenters are their own, and however true, funny, or interesting, are not endorsed by Advice Chaser. Please do not act on the information you hear today without consulting a qualified financial professional. We're thrilled to bring you today's educational presentation. Attendees are muted, but we do encourage you to ask questions using the chat box. Let me go ahead and turn that feature on right now. Okay, that is done. The presenter will answer those queries during our question and answer session at the end of the presentation. And if you ask a question in the chat box and we're not able to get to it today, go ahead and leave your contact info and we'd be happy to reach out to you after today's event. We want this experience to be as educational as possible, so please don't hesitate to ask for clarification or expansion of the material. I'd love to introduce you to our presenter today. Michael Ferreira has practiced for over a decade as an investment advisor at the Boring Financial Company. The Boring Financial Company is a wealth management firm specializing in strategic investment advice and estate planning for ultra-high net worth individual families and companies. It's called the Boring Financial Company because boring works, and Michael and his team focus on the boring parts so that their clients can focus on the exciting parts of life while achieving their financial goals. In addition to investment advising, Michael is a serial entrepreneur and currently the president of Michael Ferreira Custom Clothing, a bespoke clothier for business professionals, athletes, and entertainers. Michael enjoys philanthropic engagements and recently completed his term as the president of the Los Angeles Urban League Young Professionals. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you, Michael. Michael, you have to come off of mute.
I'm sure I do, and I'm sure I got to come on this beautiful, fantastic camera. My favorite part of the disclosure and a disclaimer of what you said earlier is that the jokes of the presenter are the opinions of the presenter. And I think that's probably outside of the technical stuff of, not giving financial advice and don't act upon it and talk with professionals. Outside of all of that, I think that was my favorite part. My disclaimer should be that the jokes that I share and the information related to the funny stuff that I think is funny may not be funny at all. So it is important to note that, right? I am a financial professional, as you see in the title of my company, the Boring Financial Company. Simultaneously, the reason we offer that is simply we play on the fact that, again, I know that I am not a traditional, boring, sit down, read the black and white papers type of person. So we play on that and we have a lot of fun. We do believe that life should be extraordinary. And the most important thing about life is living it, not doing the boring paper and standard things of life, right? So I shared that to say, right, this will be this will be an engaging, this will be a very valuable session. I see that the team over at Advice Chaser, as usual, has done an extraordinary job in presenting these beautiful slides that I see here. I'm not sure if a lot of them will continue to play throughout, but if they are, I will lean toward Meredith and the Advice Chaser team to guide me as I may have adjusted a little bit as it relates to what we talk about here. But the biggest thing that I will share with you on the biggest takeaway that I encourage all of individuals to take away, whether you remember everything I say on this session or one thing, right? Back to the philosophy of life, right? We believe that life should be lived. So if there's anything you take away from this presentation, whether you're here for the 1 minute of this opening or the full 5 hours that will be here, just kidding.
Oh, no. I'm not scheduled for 5 hours.
For the additional 40 minutes or 35 minutes that we're here, right? One thing that I, in the most sincere way, I challenge individuals to do is I challenge individuals on a regular basis to make sure that we're living life at the highest level. And the highest level is relative to the individual. And I say this with the utmost sincerity. I do this every single day of my life, and I challenge you to do this every single day of your life. Make every single day and live every single day like it's the best day of your life. And then wake up again and do it tomorrow. And tomorrow, make that day the best day of your life and wake up again and do it again tomorrow. And I can assure you, over all the fantastic financial and investment advice and ideas and creativity that we shared throughout this session, yes, you will get some information. Yes, they will be valuable. But I would say, if you take anything away and you remember that one thing, make today the greatest day of your life and wake up and do it again tomorrow. So I'll leave you with that, whether you're here for 1 minute, 2 minutes, or the remainder time of our session. I encourage you to remember that and live life like that at the highest level. Now, what are we going to talk about today? As you see on your screen, right, we will talk about what does money mean. We will talk about our feelings as it comes to money, right, our philosophy and our concepts of money, and simultaneously some of the assumptions that individuals that are growing in their potential wealth or even reach peaks of their potential wealth and saying, hey, we're kind of maxing out, we're doing pretty good, we're happy, we're paying all our bills, we're satisfied. Is that it, right? I'll show you how to go to a higher level mentally, and which will simultaneously take you another level financially. And I talked about that last week, right? It's beautiful. Thank you guys for the content you created here. Quick question, Meredith, forgive me for not doing this first. Are you okay with seeing with height, with all the above? I'm not cut off or anything. You're all good. Very good. So what we'll be talking about specifically here, as mentioned, I've had the privilege of working with individuals going on 17 years as an investment professional now, throughout the nation and globe for that matter, now with the individuals that we have worked with and who have moved toward their retirement countries or places. And we found some things that have stood out amongst others. And in working with business owners, entrepreneurs, high net worth individuals, ultra high net worth individuals, and frankly, individuals that got there. Really, not individuals that necessarily, hey, my grandfather was the owner of the greatest corporation that was ever built. So, hey, I woke up and I was a millionaire, right? That's not the individuals that we often work with. In many cases, the individuals that we work with are individuals just like yourself, right? Have ideas, have visions of retiring, sending their children to college, taking some 1 or 2, 3 nice vacations a year, and being able to live a happy and joyous life, right? So, the wealth creation is exactly that. It's a creation, right? And life, again, as mentioned earlier, is not necessarily lived by the dollars and cents that we have and we see on computer screens and mobile phones and tablets, but it's literally about the lifestyle that we desire to have and having a strategy in order to fulfill it. Now, the reason I share that is because we've learned and we've saw some habits, I've had the privilege of working with individuals and seeing them on their trajectory towards their financial wealth and success. And the reason why we presented the topic the way we did is because we do not believe that it's solely designed on investment things or investment products or investment fill in the blank. It frankly comes down to habits and discipline. And many of the things that we'll share with you can be applied at any stage of your financial life, whether you're at a place where you're happy, you're comfortable, and you're looking to go higher, or you're in a space where just got out of college, a lot of student loan debt, whatever else, or you're in a space where starting a family, getting going, figuring out the bumps and bruises, or wherever we found some things that stand out. And there's some specific habits and disciplines that wealthy and successful people are doing that you can apply to yourself that can allow you to be successful at what any stage that you are. Now, the first thing that I will share with you, as you see in this slide here, is that it often begins inside of the mind, right? You've heard this said before, and maybe in different terms, and not even financial terms, but we bring it to the concept in financial terms to say, right, if the mind can see it here, you can feel it here. You can feel it around you, right? So the most important thing that successful financial and wealthy individuals, from your perspective, they adopt a mindset that allows them to believe, right? And it's a concept that I share in my personal meetings and we title it "The Power of Belief." Right? They're very powerful and confident in the things they believe. And I use the word there intentionally, confident. And some of us may believe, okay, when it comes to money, I'm scared. That's why I have a financial planner. That's why I'm exploring a financial planner. I'm not confident there. Okay, it's fine. No problem. What I encourage you to do is let's reframe that. Let's back that up. Let's reframe the mindset and say, okay, although I'm not confident in this area, I am confident that I can figure it out. Right? And that's the mindset that successful and high wealthy individuals, and even the individuals that we see on television, right? The famous faces, if you will, right? The Jeff Bezos, the Bill Gates, the Mark Cubans, all these individuals I just use as random examples that first come to me. So please forgive me there. But it's important to know that when Bill Gates started, it started here. It started with an idea. And then it came to the point where that idea became a belief. And once they have that belief, they can begin acting on it. So in your case, right, whatever stage that you are, whether you're planning for a nice vacation at the end of the summer, a nice vacation during holiday break, or traveling to see your relatives across the country or across the pond, that might be a very pricey ticket or wherever it is, or getting to that destination of, we've worked for 40, 35 years and I'm ready to retire. It's putting that vision in the mind, putting it in seeing it regularly till you actually believe that retirement state and that vacation is truly possible. Because once you believe it, then you take action on the steps to get there. And I'll use this example here before we progress to the next slide. Is right when how can I use? I'll use health. Health is a good place, right? Health and money are always things that people can relate with, right? And the reason I like that is when we're in health, right? When we go to the gym, if we haven't been working in the gym for a while, like myself, right? We start getting back into the gym. You're a little hesitant, right? You're a little, oh, everyone in the gym is looking so great, and I'm just getting back, and oh no, and right. But what happens when you can, you work with a trainer, you work with someone else, and you start seeing, even if you see the slightest bit of result of saying, hey, you know what? I might have lost a half a pound or 1 pound. I lost a little bit in the waist, right? What that does, right, and you can continue marrying. What that does is that allows us to be in a place to where we can say, hey, we can do this. Well, I lost 1 pound, right? And then two, and then whatever it is, right? And that allows us to get the momentum to move forward. So as you see that, and I'll use this example because I was there once, right? Transparency. I was there once where there was credit card debt, there was student loan debt, whatever it is, and you're like, hey, I paid one off. Hey, I got one out of the way, right? And I challenge you and I encourage you, right? What the wealthy individuals look at and they say, right, I did it once. Let's propel that. Let's do it again. And simultaneously, this is a perfect opportunity as we transition here into this next slide, right? When you're around other people that are also doing well, even in the health and fitness space, taking the money picture out of the way, right? When you see other people, wow, I see them at the gym all the time. Hey, girl, I see you, right? Good job. And you see the other, right? And the high fives, and you see that minor little half waistband and half pound go down, and then it turns into 2 and 3. And now it's like, hey, whoa, we're here, right? We're living, whether I have the perfect body that I desire, I'm getting there. But more importantly, I'm living a healthy lifestyle, right? Right. I truly believe that all of our bodies of sizes, height, weight, width, shapes, and colors in this beautiful globe that we live in this global economy, are all places and all beauty should be appreciated, right? So even in that growth stage, even in that progression stage, in the example that I use of health, you can still be living a healthy lifestyle on your way to your full destination, right? And that's the mindset of successful and wealthy people in the financial realm. And I encourage you to use these strategies as you progress to your desired destination. And while you do that, as you see here, it's about making sure that you're around the individuals that will motivate you and encourage you to keep going. And that may be, right, using Advice Chaser to have that phone call to say, hey, you know what, I listened to a few of your sessions. I've watched you guys' sessions for a while over at Advice Chaser. You know what, let's make that call. Let's have that conversation of, yeah, maybe I'm ready for a conversation with someone, right? And having, I'm in Chicago, I'm in Jersey, I'm in Germany, I'm in London, I'm in, Florida, wherever it may be, right? No, using random examples here. But now, hey, you know what? Advice is a great job putting on that content. Let's have that conversation. What does that look like for me to speak with someone, right? And now you're evaluating by surrounding yourself with professionals that can assist you and guide you on that direction. But simultaneously, maybe you're not going on the financial journey and your success journey, your health journey, or whatever journey alone. Right? Why do we see these communities of Facebook communities of dog moms, right? Soccer moms, the list goes on. The same thing applies when it comes to our financial well-being, right? Maybe everyone is not in the perfect scenario, right? And I do believe that there are members of that group of your community that are supporters, motivators, encouragers. And simultaneously, there's other people in your circle and community that deliberately have been there, have the information, have the advice, ways to deliberately help you, right? So, for example, here, we'll use a group that you may have a friend or a colleague that you went to college with. And frankly, you guys are maybe in the same situation. Right? You went to college, got some great degrees, but when it comes to this money thing, and I can speak from experience, the understanding money and living and paying bills and rents and mortgages and roommates and all of the above, this is a whole different game that hasn't been taught in school or university, right? How many people were literally taking a class on how to live life? Right? It just doesn't exist, right? It just doesn't exist. And that's why there's events and sessions like this that we do regularly with Advice Chaser. It's so important for you to be engulfed in desire to continue to expand your education. And those of you that are here that are live or listening to a recorded session, wow, I just literally have to pause and commend you. Imagine wherever time it is on the globe that you're listening, that you could be doing literally anything else. Chatting, texting, watching TV, video games, right? Sports, entertainment, just because you can. But commendable for you being here. You've taken the time amongst all the things to sit here, listen to a guy in a halfway good suit or something like that, right? Along with some pretty slides in the background, or maybe not a good suit. I don't know. That doesn't matter. But the most important thing is that you're here. And a round of applause and commending you for doing so. And that's the surrounding, right? It's adding the people around you that can help you get to your destination. And in that example of the individual where you went to school, you may not know it, maybe that friend that might be in a similar situation, maybe you guys are encouraging, supporting each other, growing together, right? That's the circle. That's the community. The wealthy and successful individuals that we know. Why do we see the same people on the same screens, on the same YouTube videos, on the same podcasts, on the same videos, on the same newsrooms? It's surrounding themselves with like-minded individuals that will encourage, that will inspire, that will allow them to go to the next level. Why do we always see Oprah Winfrey and Bill Gates together? No coincidence. No, just happens. It's very intentional. Why do we often see, right, presidents of the United States along with presidents and prime ministers of other global economies? It's no accident, right? The same applies to your well-being in health and your financial health, surrounding yourself with other individuals. This is what the successful people do. Copy them. There's always some breadcrumbs. There's always some clues. You can apply the same thing wherever stage you are. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals that can encourage, inspire, and simultaneously individuals that can inspire you and challenge you to go to a higher level, right? Now, the third strategy that we often see when it comes to that circle, when it comes to that information, and this might be the most vital. This might be the most vital side, because and then this slide, I might offend someone with this, and that's okay, because I do believe that when we're offended sometimes in the most respectful way, when we're offended respectfully, it challenges you to do better, right? right? The mindset, the research, the things that people learn, the efficiency, I pause here because you know what, I'm guilty of it too, but I've learned to minimize the period. The biggest thing that successful and the wealthy individuals do to propel their success and their financial health is that they take action. And I literally, you can leave right now. Thanks for being here. Thank you, advice stays there, right? You can leave right now. As long as you have those three, you can be successful in whatever arena that you desire. Health, wealth, fitness, financial, family, friends, relationships, the list goes on. The ability and the discipline to take action. That is the biggest thing that wealthy and successful people do in any category. Let's wipe financial out. Let's take financial out of the picture. Yes, that's a vital important. That's what we're here for. But let's take financial out. The ability to take action is the one key that separates the whatever you call successful to the not. And easier said than done, because you know why? I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of it too. Being in a position where, would love to want to do this, won't want to do this. Oh my, I'm so scared. I don't know enough. Oh my gosh, I need another degree. I need another, this, I'm not, and then an excuse and an excuse and a reason and a reason. And then, I'll just go do this and then I'll just go do that. When I could have taken action, right? We all still have it. But we have to make those moments so short, so minimal, so minute that when the doubt and the fear comes into play, we understand that fear and we take action anyway, right? The biggest thing is that the successful individuals that you perceive as successful and admirable, they have the ability to take action. Even being here today, right? It's not easy to just jump up on the camera and say, hi, that's been learned over time, right? Having the ability to, have a financial podcast, YouTube channels about money and finance and strategy and health and wealth and well-being and all the other stuff that, I do personally and have the ability to now share with you through Advice Chaser. All of those other branding things of the social media, Instagram, Twitter, information, advice, all those stuff, like those are all practice. And those are scary moments. But now when I get here, it's a little easier because, hey, we've done those small little touches and those small little practices and surrounded ourselves with other individuals that could help and inspire and challenge us. And then simultaneously, Advisor invites us on to say, okay, I can do this because we've done the other things. So again, you could leave now, but the ability to take action, the following stuff will be valuable too. But if you get this one thing, the ability to apply the strategies, to apply the information, and most importantly, take action, even when it's uncertain. Hey, you know what? I don't have a $5 million, $500,000 401k rollover from my previous company. And you know what? I should have started a little earlier. And okay, let's get all that out of the way. All right, let's get all that out the way. What can I do now to better my financial situation? I get that I shoulda, coulda, woulda, bad situation, divorce, family, dog left me, went away, had to go to an international trip, study abroad. Oh my gosh, another credit card bill, had 2 children. We get that. What can I do right now? What is the simplest thing that I can do right now to take action? And one of the biggest things, back to the commending, you're here today. You're taking the time to learn this information. You're able to time to sit here and evaluate and gain information. One of the biggest things that we can do is understanding where we are so we can know where we want to go, right? Taking inventory, having a way to sit down, evaluate, say, all of the things, are the examples that I gave, but how can I now evaluate what I've done, where I got to, and what action steps can I take? And I mean, so beautifully transition in the ability to explore the financial state that we are in and look to where we are right now and either talk with professionals, talk with spouses and team members and partners, and literally get a control, right? Get a handle on where you desire to go from where you are today. The believing, the attitude and the willingness to succeed in that growth mindset, right? So here, one of the, this is if you're writing, taking notes, whatever it is, this is the one part that I would encourage you to write and take notes on how you can develop the plan and the strategy. The way that that plan and that strategy is taken into place, I have a session. Somebody might copy this, but I don't care. Right? I love giving ideas that people can steal and use. And the reason why I don't mind sharing all of the information that I know is because I'm always thinking. And there's even if I gave away all of my information and all of my new creativity that another financial professional or someone else goes and uses and takes my idea, I don't care. I gave it. I was able to share that wisdom with somebody else that they can apply as a professional, as an accountant, or whatever it is, and now that they can share with other people, and now we help more people. That's what life is about, right? I believe if life was about owning all, if life was about having all of the information and all the resources and bottling it up and keeping it to ourselves and not sharing with anyone and not talking about it and being selfish and keeping everything to ourselves, then you would be the only one on the earth if that's what life was designed to be. Life is designed for us to share, to give, to explore, and spread the wisdom and knowledge of all the little pieces of nuggets of information that we all have. Because if all the information and the value that we all carry in ourselves was designed to be bottled up and not shared with anyone, you would be the only person on earth. The reason that there's other people around you is because the financial information that I have, the fitness information that someone else has, the nutrition information and the auto care and the XYZ and whatever else you can think, knowledge that someone else has, is designed to be shared with other people around us. We as humans, as Americans, as global economy individuals living in this global arena, we are here with other people in this time, in this season, so we can give and share the knowledge that we have with other people. So all of that leading up into the example that I gave, I call it the gold card, right? In the gold session, right? Gold, right? GOLD. But it's really a goal meeting that I have with all of my clients, right? So the gold meeting, we have a full, beautiful thing, right? Welcome to your gold meeting, gold, GOLD. We have a beautiful gold laminated paper with the shimmery back and one side is white, right? Welcome to your gold meeting. And on that gold meeting, we literally write down all of the goals that we desire to have in life. So in this example here, this is the challenge. If you're writing anything down, if you write one thing down, write this down. This is the challenge. You don't even have to work with us. You don't have to work with anybody. But this is an example in our gold meeting. We challenge you to write all of the gold mind things that you have that are desires and goals for you that you want to have in life. Now, when you do this exercise and when you do this strategy, do not think too much. Just begin writing. I'll say that again. Do not think too much. Just begin writing. Here's an example. These are the goals that I desire in retirement, right? And just start loading off that paper with any and all of the crazy, weird ideas that you can possibly think could be possible in retirement. Go to France for a week. Take my spouse and children to Bora Bora, right? Live in Spain. Go to all of the Disneylands in the world, drive a race car, scuba dive, hang glide, jump off of a building, parachute across the NFL Super Bowl stadium, right? Drive a whatever else, your dream car, fly a private jet, right? Start loading off every weird, crazy. I hear some people laughing. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. Thank you. I hear people laughing, smiling. Yes, this is silly. Yes, this is funny. Yes, this is quirky. And it might sound foolish to some people. But I can assure you, the individuals that you perceive as successful, that you perceive as wealthy, they have these insane, crazy, wild ideas, and they begin writing them down, looking them on paper, talking to people that can help them. They believe it's possible. They take action. And then we have Amazon. And then we have Michael Dell Computers. And then we have, what else can we talk about? And then we have Apple, iPhone. It's silly. It's crazy. It's weird. I know it, but I also know it works. So I challenge you. If there's one thing you write down, take that gold strategy session, right? Gold, GOLD, right? Simultaneously gold, GOAL, right? And all of the gold mind things that you have, just write them down on paper. And even if they're silly and even if they're quirky, you should be having that meeting with your financial professionals, your tax advisors, your people that can help you that has this weird, crazy idea. How can this be real? And the stuff that are literally weird and silly that, you just started writing down, no problem. You can eliminate them and say, that was fun, but you know what, that's not really realistic. And what will happen is as you progress financially, as you progress in your life, you'll realize, I don't really want to do that anymore. No problem. Right? You just focus on the ones that you do. And now this is how you truly get to financial planning. Right? I truly believe that financial planning is not limited to, hey, everyone should have this type of investment in their portfolio. And I see this on Instagram today, and this is the best new thing, and this is tax is this, and everyone should have what? You don't have it. What you call? Oh, everybody should buy this, and this investment is the best. It's not like life is not like that. After doing this for going on 17 years, I understand that we all are individuals, and we all have our unique quirks and personalities and ideas and things that we care about that others might not. And those things that are dear and care to our heart, we should plan financially accordingly to that. So I never believe that everyone should and everyone should have. So the leading discussion when you're talking with professionals, when you're talking with your team members, even as a family and even with yourself, right? Start with the goal, right? Stephen Covey, strange as it is, start with the end in mind. What does the end goal, the vision of retirement look like for you? Is it in the state you currently live in? Is it in the United States? Is it someplace else, right? What does the vision look like? And now that we have a clear, and even it doesn't have to be clear, now that we have some direction and vision of what your desire and outcome goals are, we can now take financial steps to get there. Okay, we know that the goal is retire and live here and approximately this age and with this, etc. So if this is the goal, now how can I take steps to do here? What steps can I do here? And what steps I can do there? And that's how you get to the planning stage of financial, right? Now this is the key, right? As you bring it all together, right? I love this example here. As we bring it all together, you provide the tools, you provide the research, you provide the technology, you provide the things that are now, right, complementary to us on the internet in some capacity, and full like transparency. That's the way to say it. Full transparency. I believe that individuals have enough information and resources where they can get the ball going, right? There's social security calculators that exist online. There's retirement calculators that exist online. There's mobile applications. There's mobile technology, tablets, and resources that are available literally at our fingertips, right? And it's tough to say this, right? Because I'm just so transparent in the aspect that I'm not the advisor that everyone needs to meet with a boring financial advisor sitting in a desk in a nice suit, and we talk about how we get to the investing of the right portfolios and just out. The financial advisor that tells you that in the most respectful way does not have your best interest in mind. And I might offend some financial professionals by saying that, but it just is what it is. The technology, the resources, the access to information is literally at the fingertips of all people. Are financial professionals important? Absolutely. Should most people work with a financial professional? Probably, but it's not the end all be all as it once was in the past. The back in the days where I'm the broker, I'm the financial advisor, I have all the information, you need me in the most respectful way as a financial professional. I'm not sure if that's true anymore. And I encourage you and I challenge you to make sure that you're using the technology, using the resources, and this is no promotion or advertising for any app or any program or nothing like that. You make the decisions on your own. You make the decisions with your professional on your own. But the key here to remember is that you're not alone here, right? We should use the technology. We should use the resources. We should use the calculators. We should use the information that's available to us at the drop of a dime and on our fingertips in complement to the financial professional and the individuals that you use for advice, right? So as we come to a close here, right, we talked about some valuable things. I want to make sure I leave some time for questions if there's any, but the biggest thing, remember, right, the slide number 3, right, making sure that you're applying and taking action on the information that you have, right? Making decisions once that you have them, apply the effective strategies consistently. And one of the, this will be a bonus here, right, this number 6, right? The bonus that individuals do as they progress to their higher levels of wealth and success is that even though the next step may not be very clear, and this is perfect for your situation right now, even though you may not know the exact next step to take, the exact strategy to move of where assets or money or health or fitness or trainers or whatever else you may need to do, by taking that first step, right? Successful individuals know, and this is the bonus if you're writing things down, that the next step will unfold as they take the beginning first step, right? And then you're like, okay, I got that. And then what will happen? You'll learn, you'll gain information, and the next step on what you should do will unveil itself, right? I'm awkwardly a person of belief, of energy, and energy matters. And I believe that as you take steps in the right direction that you desire of your goal, your end destination, whether that's retirement or short-term vacation or sending children to college or paying off a car, paying off debt, or student, whatever the goal is here, as you begin taking the steps over here to get there, the next step will unfold to get there. And then the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. And this is what successful individuals do, right? They have the mindset to know that the next step will unfold as they begin to take action. So I truly believe that that third slide might be the most important, right? The ability to take action, even when you're not having a clear picture, right? So in closing here, I know that there was a lot of information shared, but one of the biggest things that I want to make sure that I leave you with is that it's important for you to remember that number one, you're not alone on this journey, right? Making sure that you're surrounding yourself with peers and individuals that can support, inspire, and challenge and encourage, and simultaneously surrounding yourself with individuals that can help you get there. Because these are the mindset and the disciplines of the successful individuals that you see and that you believe. And it's literally guaranteed, right? They all have it. It's guaranteed if you look at, they have mentors, they have coaches, they have friends, it's literally a system. It just is what it is. And I encourage and challenge you to implement that system, making sure you're surrounding individuals and make sure finally that you're taking action. And above all, I'll stop here, and as I close for questions, right? Remember, life is about living, not about all of the boring and traditional and society says you should and I should and I quote unquote this is how it's supposed to be. We all have different trajectories and different journeys. I encourage and challenge you as you take those first steps and the second step, the next step will unfold to the next direction you should take. I'll pause right there, Meredith, and I'll allow for some questions if there's any. But if not, that may mean that everything was perfect. And we can just close out and move from there. I'm just kidding. That's one of the jokes that might be subjective to a joke. Right? Go ahead, Meredith.
All right. Well, I just wanted to go ahead and ask some of these questions that I've gathered here. This is a good question. What are some of the most common goals that you see that people put down on that gold sheet? What are you seeing as far as maybe goals people have? And then also a follow-up question to that. What do people often forget that they need to think about?
Yeah, good question. The interesting, one of the most popular goals that I see on that gold, that gold strategy session is it's literally gold, right? It's a gold session. So many gems that come about from there. But it has nothing to do with money. Actually, it comes down to living a happy and fulfilled life, right? Most people want, it's and some people might be saying this right now. Man, I just want to be happy. I just want to be right, have a joy, enjoy my time here. That's the number one thing. And when I see that often at the top, I commend them first of all because that's the right way to be thinking about it. And then even as a financial professional, I bring them back and I say, okay, if that's the desire, if that's the goal, how can I do that right now without any money? And what that does is it shifts the mind of individuals and say, hey, you're right. Right? What can I do that's fun? Right? Is it beaching? Is it hiking? Is it whatever? I don't know what it is for you, right? It's something, right? But how can we live those happy things now? Right. Another one, for the sake of time, I'll move on. I could expand on that happiness for almost for another 10 or 15 minutes. But just another example, I think so the other two. Retirement is often there. So I will say that, right? We don't work forever. Most people don't want to work for an end goal, but simultaneously, retirement for many people, especially young individuals like myself, right? Retirement is no longer right. Stop working, sit at home and lounge and go on the beach, right, or travel the world. Sometimes young people they want to travel the world right now, live right now. And like myself, I believe you should. But even retirement, it looks like what am I doing in retirement, right? Although I've worked for these 20, 30, 40 years, right? Maybe it's volunteering at a nonprofit or giving back or doing something that my mind and my body is active, right? Where it's some form of work capacity in retirement, right? So retirement is on the table, but it's not as traditional as it once was in our grandparents' age or our parents' age for that matter of stop and do nothing. It's retirement looks like in doing something accordingly, right? And the third thing before we move on to the next question is like bettering the lives of their children and grandchildren, right? Now that I did this, now that I learned the bumps and the bruises, how can I make my life better for my children or grandchildren, right? How can they introduce their children in a philosophy that I implement, right? Introducing the financial professional to a child at his first age, right? Excuse me, first job at age 16 or 17. Why does a 16-year-old be a financial planner? It's not about the financial planning. It's about the mindset, right? So I have some clients that have been with me for 16 years, and their children are now clients of mine. Not because their children inherited millions, as I mentioned in the beginning, but that they want their children to have the mindset to do the desires of their heart, right? So those are the three examples. And then I think the last one was that's often missed out. Um, you know, what's missed out? I think the tough part that's missed out is right health challenges, right? And I don't even know how to put that in words, right? But we often miss health, and many times I see individuals in that goal session thinking about money and thinking about retirement and think about traveling and think about cars and thinking about paying off their home, think about all of these things, right? And there's nothing wrong with things, but we often miss that might get sick, might get ill, might, as tough as it is to be transparent on this webinar, not to be a downer, but what if a spouse passes away? Right? Those are the things that are often missed because it's about taking that in consideration to plan accordingly for health, plan accordingly for well-being accordingly. All right. So keep that in mind. That's the one thing that's me. Make sure health is always on that board, right? Living a lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. I think that's vital and important to long-term success.
All right, I've got a couple more questions here. How do you watch out for bad actors, especially if you are looking for mentors?
Great. I think the biggest thing is that community, right? Surrounding yourself with individuals that may get a referral, right? Individuals that might think successful. Talk to them. The strange thing is that successful people want to help others, right? As long as those individuals are willing to ask and take action. Successful individuals don't want to continue to give advice to people and then they don't do anything with it, right? Because then they feel like, hey, you know what, it's wasting my time. But the biggest thing I think is look for referrals or introductions, or that's someone that you know and trust that can give you information. The second thing, right, we have technology now, right? You searching internet, exploring, and asking the questions, right? I think one of the important things to remember is that even when you're speaking with a financial professional, individuals that have been in the game for a long time, everything may not look perfect, right? If there's many things that you can search and look at. Everything may not be perfect, but it's important if you feel something with that person and you lean to that person, you connect with that person, ask them, right? Don't be afraid to ask, right? Hey, I seen this thing, right? What happened there? What was the situation? Maybe it was something that was in their control. Maybe it was something that was out of their control. And then you can make your decision accordingly, based on what you research on global websites. Because, frankly, it just is what it is, right? As a financial professional, we have those things. And we know that on the reverse side, right, there's unfortunately bad actors on the consumer end, right? So you just don't know. And just don't be afraid to ask that financial professional, hey, I saw this. What's up? Right? Don't be afraid to say that. And then finally, I think you're here, right? You're seeing that beautiful logo on the top left of your screen, right? You have the opportunity to have a discussion with trusted organizations that can give you insight to propel you to the next level.
All right, one more question here before we wrap it up. You talked a lot about taking action. What about making mistakes and missteps? How do you recover from a mistake, either in your financial life or maybe in your business life, something like that?
Yeah, that's good. Meredith, you and I probably know this was actually one of the slides that was tentatively going to be on, right? On one of those slides. So whoever asked that question, great question, and thank you for sharing that with everyone that'll be able to listen. And you know what? As we talked about taking those next steps forward, even when those mistakes happen, you know what? Who's guilty of that? I and many people on this call, right? When those mistakes happen or things happen, wealthy individuals understand that they have the mindset to correct course when things change, right? If we look at the state of we are, whether it's sports or health or entertainment, I like to even if you don't watch sports, right? And there's arguably don't use sports in illustrations. People are out sorts. I don't believe that because most people understand the concept of competition, right? So in competition, you may going into the second half and you may see, hey, this team is doing something that we didn't expect. What do? You correct course and you adjust to the things that they're doing differently. The same thing happens when you make a mistake. Hey, mistakes happen, but it's important to follow the same principles and disciplines that successful people do. Surround yourself with individuals that can challenge and encourage you, and simultaneously surround yourself with other people that can help you and propel you to correct it and get back on track to your goal and destination. All right.
All right. Well, that's all about the time we have for our webinar today. I want to thank Michael for being here and for the information he shared today. And I want to thank the organizations that have made this webinar possible today. To our attendees, look for an email soon with a link to the replay of this event. And you're welcome to share that replay with friends and family. Here at Advice Chaser, we're all about helping you find a financial advisor who's a great fit for your life and your financial questions. Our matching service is free to you, and every one of our advisor partners has committed to offer a free initial consultation to anyone we introduce them to. Find out more by going to advicechaser.com and clicking on the link to find an advisor. Well, once again, from Advice Chaser, thank you everyone for coming, and we'll see you at another webinar soon. Goodbye, everyone.